Welcome to today's update on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. We've got some critical developments to cover. Russian Prosecutor General Igor Krasnov visited North Korea, meeting with counterpart Kim Chol Won. This marks the first such visit, with both sides signing an agreement for joint work until 2026. Krasnov emphasized the importance of legislative exchange between the two countries, particularly in communication and information technology. This move signifies intensified cooperation, reflecting Russia's interest in consolidating control over its information space through judicial expertise. This alignment showcases an expanding strategic partnership aiming to bolster internal control mechanisms within both nations. The Russian Ministry of Internal Affairs published a new counterterrorism strategy, redefining terms like Russophobia and xenophobia. These expanded definitions enable broader criminal prosecution of domestic opposition, framing dissent as ethnic intolerance and hostility towards Russian culture. The Kremlin aims to promote self-censorship and align opposition with extremism and radicalism. This strategy also seeks to appease Russian ultranationalists by linking domestic nationalism with the ongoing war effort in Ukraine. The redefinitions serve to strengthen the Kremlin's control over public discourse and silence opposition. Acting Kursk Oblast Governor Alexei Smirnov appointed Russian mill blogger Roman Alekin as a volunteer advisor. Alekin, a vocal critic of regional authorities, will now implement his security and development ideas. This appointment is part of a broader Kremlin strategy to co-opt critical commentators by granting them positions and influence in exchange for loyalty. This approach has been seen with other prominent mill bloggers who have been integrated into government roles. The move aims to manage dissent and bring influential voices within the state's fold. Ukrainian forces conducted drone strikes on Russian oil infrastructure in Krasnodar Krai and a military air base in Rostov Oblast. The strikes targeted the Tuapse oil refinery and the Morozovsk air base, causing significant damage and fires. Russian sources reported the destruction of multiple drones but acknowledged the damage. These attacks highlight Ukraine's capability to hit critical Russian infrastructure, sparking criticism from Russian mill bloggers about the government's inability to protect these facilities. The strikes are part of Ukraine's broader strategy to disrupt Russian logistics and military capabilities. Georgian authorities placed about 300 citizens who served in the Georgian Legion alongside Ukrainian forces on the wanted list. This move follows similar actions by Russia, which has charged Georgian volunteers with recruiting and participating in military operations. The Georgian State Security Service accused these volunteers of plotting a violent coup and inciting protests against Russian-influenced policies. This crackdown on pro-Western and pro-Ukraine voices indicates a shift in Georgian politics, aligning more with Russian interests and undermining Georgia's Euro-Atlantic integration efforts. Russian forces made marginal advances near Vovchansk, Siversk, Toretsk, and Donetsk city. In Vovchansk, they pushed further into the forest area, while in Siversk, they gained ground along key streets. The fighting intensified near Chasiv Yar and Avdiivka, with Russian forces advancing in fields and settlements around these areas. Ukrainian forces are reportedly regrouping and conducting reconnaissance to prepare for future offensives. These movements reflect the ongoing, intense battle for control in eastern Ukraine, with both sides experiencing fluctuating front lines. Ukraine continues to strengthen its defense capabilities through international partnerships and domestic production. Recently, Ukraine received 50,000 artillery shells from a Czech-led initiative, with plans to deliver 500,000 rounds by the end of 2024. Ukraine also signed contracts with over 20 international defense manufacturers and secured a significant loan from the UK for new weapons. These efforts aim to diversify Ukraine's weapons supply and enhance its self-sufficiency in defense production, crucial for sustaining its military efforts against Russian aggression.